Hey, it's David, a Strong by Lee. Thanks for tuning in. I want to take the next couple of minutes introducing you to me. Who is David Lee? Who is Strong by Lee? Why did I become a personal trainer? How did I get into fitness? And why do I continue to do what I do, helping my clients look, move, and feel better? I was never into fitness. I hated fitness. I didn't like working out. I wasn't an athlete growing up. I grew up to a single mother for all intents and purposes in inner city Baltimore City. And I was bullied a lot. Because I was bullied, I generally avoided other people. I didn't want to avoid other people. I wanted to have friends, but it just turned out that I was a minority within minorities, and they didn't like me. And because of that, I just ended up playing by myself. I would take a rubber ball that we got from one of the stores that my mother managed, a bodega that she managed, and I would go to one of the empty warehouses outside and throw the ball against that wall hundreds and thousands of times each day. Occasionally, I would run from the stray dog. Occasionally, I would cut out a hole on the bottom of a milk carton and play basketball by myself with a half-inflated ball. And occasionally, when I got really bored, I would explore and rummage through one of the abandoned crack houses that smelled like feces, piss, dead rats, and the occasional human body. I think that's where my sense of curiosity came from. The arm that I had, I was once clocked at 90 miles an hour in ninth grade, but I had no control and no arsenal, which meant that I had no future as a pitcher. And because I had to run from the occasional stray dog and had a bike that I would roll around in because I had no friends, I think that's where my quickness and leg strength came from. That is the extent of my athletic background. My mother met my stepfather, Roger, a white guy who was born in the 50s in Ohio. When I was 9 years old, he got us the hell out of Dodge because he realized that Baltimore City is not the place where he wanted me to grow up. We moved to the outskirts, which was 20 minutes outside of Baltimore, to a small city called Dundalk, into a trailer home. It was a little bit more quiet, safer, because we were surrounded by elderly white people for the most part. But we were adjacent to a bridge that housed a bunch of homeless people who were also pretty nice. I waved at them occasionally whenever I was walking to school in middle school. Middle school, again, minority to minority. I got into fights here and there. I never really connected with anybody. Halfway through my high school freshman year, we moved to Harford County. I started attending Edgewood Senior High, which was the academically worst performing school in the county. Again, I didn't really have any friends because a lot of the people grew up going to those schools. I was the odd one out, and even in a student body of 1,400, I was still the minority within the minority. 4 Asians in a student body of 1,400, 3 of them, we were all in the same year. And I think up until my 12th grade year, I really hadn't done anything. I didn't go on any dates. I didn't go to prom. I didn't have a girlfriend, and I didn't want my high school life to go by without having done anything significant. The only significant things I did in my high school year were playing video games. I eventually became a competitive video gamer, and nothing really came of it. I got pretty good at skateboarding, and my only friend was a 9th grader when I was in 12th grade named Mikey, and we played Dance Dance Revolution together. So we were both losers who never had a girlfriend. After I graduated high school, I joined the military. Oh, I'm actually missing a key part that really drove home the lack of self-confidence. In my 12th grade year, because I thought that if I had played sports such as football, I'd be a jock and get the girls, I tried out for football at 5'7", 135 pounds, soaking wet. I got rocked one too many times in practice and decided that I was going to quit because I didn't want to get rocked and I was a big wimp. I thought swimming in the winter season would be a softer sport because nobody's trying to take my head off. But even in the second meet, I perceived the parents in the stands laughing at me because since I had low self-confidence, I thought that everybody was making fun of me, and I started to hyperventilate. They had to cart me off an EMS with a brown paper bag, and I never came back. I never even came to the participation trophy award ceremony. Participation trophy, they had those back then too. I'm glad because I would have been so ashamed of myself. That was my high school career, marked by low self-confidence, depression, a lot of acne, and video games. Because even though I had good grades, because the school was the worst academically performing school, it didn't make me competitive to get into any recognizable college, even though my mother wanted me to go to either Johns Hopkins or University of Maryland. With what money to become a lawyer, doctor, or pharmacist, since all of her nieces and nephews were doctors, pharmacists, or lawyers, as if I was going to be one. My stepfather, who had been in the U.S. Army for 21 years, suggested I go into the Air Force because he was insinuating that since I'm weak and frail, out of shape, and a wimp, that the Air Force would take the best care of me. And he wasn't incorrect. I just didn't think of it that way. I thought that, oh yeah, this is going to be easy, because I had low self-confidence and I wanted the easy way out. I joined the Air Force in 2004. I stayed in for 6 years. And during that time, the big things that really boosted my self-confidence were not really fitness, but my technical proficiency in my chosen career field as a signals intelligence apprentice. I set all sorts of records, received all sorts of awards for the way that I perform Morse code during technical training. I went through my Morse code schools faster than anyone in history, which was really cool considering I had no self-confidence and I thought I was pretty worthless and valueless. And then when I went to Florida to finish the second leg of my training, I finished first in my class. Again, self-confidence from a technical standpoint, but I was still thin, weak, out of shape, and had poor self-confidence of myself from a visual perspective. And then in 2009, I decided to become a personal training leader, which was a volunteer personal training leader, as a way to get brownie points for my promotion, but selfishly as a way to motivate myself to get in shape. I decided to make this decision because a gentleman I worked out with named Lancaster Lador was tall, dark, and handsome, and buff and ripped, and he got all the girls, and I thought that I wanted to get all the girls. And even after I started working out, I only gained about 5-10 pounds and still was girlless. But it set the trajectory for my career because in 2009, I became a personal training leader, which was a pro bono volunteer personal trainer, ran group classes, and worked with a couple of people who served as catalysts for my career change. I was able to help one person salvage his Air Force career. He was able to stay in, and that, I think, was the big, profound impact that I needed to say, I'm going to become a personal trainer after I get out of the military in 2010. I thought to myself, wow, people will actually pay me to get them in shape, for me to tell them what to do. 2011, I became a certified personal trainer in New York City and enrolled into New York University with a major of nutrition and dietetics, thinking if I became a licensed registered dietitian as an adjunct to my certified personal training certification, I could be a one-stop shop resource for my clients, providing fitness, nutrition, and accountability so that they don't have to go anywhere and they have all the knowledge right at their fingertips. And I think up until this point, that has served me well. It has served them well. Since 2011, I've been able to help over 400 people, men, women, varying ages, shapes, and sizes. But my big focus are general fitness clientele, busy professionals who want to look, move, and feel better using personalized fitness, nutrition, and accountability coaching. And like me, I try to help them gain more self-confidence, physical, emotional, and mental self-confidence so they can live more optimally. Because for me, I didn't like fitness. I didn't like sports. I don't even follow sports to this day. I wasn't a lifelong athlete. But through fitness, I found a better version of myself. I found that I could improve myself physically, emotionally, and mentally. And I'm hoping through my experience, through my expertise and knowledge, I can help my clients and help you do the same. Thank you very much for listening. I hope I checked off all of the boxes and you listened up until the end. I know it was a bit long and it could be drawn out listening to somebody else's history. Again, I told you my story isn't particularly interesting or special, but I really do thank you. I'm grateful that you listened up until this point. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me at david@strongbylee.com. Until next time, peace out.